So, how can a company incorporate branding into its brand strategy without diluting its effectiveness? I think this question relates to the effectiveness of the brand. For me, I'm a little bit of a rebel, and I think that brand search and is actually an integral part of SEO, and optimizing for your brand is absolutely essential for your business, and I'll explain why. Two reasons. The very, very commercial reason is that I firmly believe, and the statistics show it, that consumers buy from people they trust and people they know. And as people move through the buying journey, they might interact with your brand 5, 6, 7 times across various different platforms. And finally, they'll Google your brand name. So if you go and Google your brand name now and have a look and see how it appears in the search results, are you happy with the story that it's giving your potential customers? Now, I learned a lot about this from a very good friend and colleague, Jason Barnard, who is the pioneer of brand search optimization. And brands can actively influence Google and the search engines and educate the search engines about their brand, to ensure that they're controlling the narrative, because if you leave it to the search engines to produce results for your brand, you're leaving your narrative in their hands. A couple of ways that you can do this is by establishing an entity home. If you go to calicubepro.com, calicube.com, you can follow the process. It's quite simple. But the end result is that you can actually shape the recommendations that Google gives about your brand, which is the traditional 10 blue links on the left-hand side. And you can also create for yourself a knowledge panel. And a knowledge panel is different from a Google business listing, which is a free business listing that Google gives to bricks and mortar businesses to allow them to compete in the rankings. One fundamental shift that's happened, and I need to explain this really quickly, is that Google stopped keyword matching and crawling trillions of links a long time ago, because it's very ineffective in terms of running an organization. And now it is a semantic-based search engine, which means it looks to identify things, or entities as we call them, and their relationship to other things. So your goal when you're optimizing your brand is to get your brand listed in Google's knowledge graph. And Google has, and Bing, and many other companies have lots and lots of knowledge graphs. It's where they store their facts. So the Knowledge Vault is the place where Google stores the facts about brands and its relationships to other things like its CEO, its products, services, competitors. And from within that vault, it will reward you with what we call a knowledge panel, which is where if you do a search for someone, it will come up on the right-hand side with another panel that includes photos, your website, your Facebook profile, or it basically gives you a Google business card that tells your story in your way and allows people to interact with your brand from the very top of the SERP. Now, adding to that is that search-generative AI is coming, and I've been fortunate enough to see the iterations of that rolling out. And what you want is to have yourself placed into that knowledge vault, because it's using that data to train the large language models that's producing the answers in the search generative experience, which is going to dominate essentially the top half of the real estate for Google. So I could talk about brand and how to optimize brand forever, but it is absolutely essential that if you're not optimizing for your brand now, you start real quick.
Well, such a really good policy doesn't work.